A rainy good morning here from Western Germany. I'm here in Mönchengladbach. Now they do have their own airport, which I'm walking to right now. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with Düsseldorf Airport, but Mönchengladbach Airport is maybe not so well known. And if you have been following this channel for a while, you know that I have a passion for regional air travel. I do other videos as well, but mostly it's about regional air travel, because I think that's where aviation actually shines, to connect places that otherwise don't really have a direct connection, or where it would take like ages to get there, or maybe they don't even have a road or something. And that's what today is all about. So I'm on my way to fly a new airline in Germany, that is Flyvbird, although now they use the brand name of Vini. Vini is like a family of birds in the Pacific, and what they promise is they will connect the unconnected, that's how they call it. They want to provide regional air services in Germany and also Europe, and they want to connect places that otherwise don't really have a good connection. Oh look, there's a SpiceJet -8. Yeah, so that's actually a big business here in Mönchengladbach. They have some maintenance facilities, they have a lot of business jet traffic, there are some jets parked over there, and they do a lot of maintenance here as well, although I think those SpiceJet -8s are probably only here to get some spare parts out of them. They used to have scheduled services as well in the early 2000s, but they were all cancelled due to economic reasons or because airlines went bankrupt or something. And they haven't actually had scheduled services for a long time until today, because at least today Flyvbird is offering two services. First one going to Hof, I'm going to be on that, and then later today they're going to go to Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen in the south of Germany is like they're based, sort of. That being said, they don't have their own aircraft actually, it's a virtual airline. So what they do is they charter aircraft from other airlines. For today's flights they chartered a Cessna 208. I'm going to tell you more about that later, but we're coming up to the terminal, so let's see how it looks like. Yeah, there we are in the general aviation terminal here at Mönchengladbach Airport. It's totally empty. There were two pilots just passing through, but they are on a different flight. They have all the flights listed on a screen here, so you can see all the business jet flights, and of course also my flight over to Hof. It's 1 hour to departure and the terminal is completely empty. Like, Mönchengladbach is the type of airport where you show up 5 minutes before departure and you still have time for a coffee. But yeah, I guess other people will be arriving soon. The flight should be full and the aircraft is inbound from Friedrichshafen. It should land in about 10 minutes actually. Shortly after, an airport employee came along and guided me to the lounge area. I was surprised that existed, but it had some nice couches. There was also free water and coffee. In the separate room next to it, I even found some very comfortable chairs where you can have a nap. Definitely a good place to wait for the flight, which was actually running a bit late. Each passenger on this first day of operations was handed a chocolate bar as a welcome gift. The bag showed a picture of a Tecnam aircraft in Flybe colors. Flybe always kind of advertised flights with Tecnam 2012 travelers, but they have been delayed until 2026. That is why in July 2025 they came up with a cooperation with flYellow using their Cessna 208 Caravan. Half an hour later, the Cessna 208 landed on runway 13, marking the first arrival of Flyvbird in Mönchengladbach. The aircraft was Delta Foxtrot Echo India Charlie, a newer generation Cessna 208 built in 2016. It was refueled and soon after it was time for boarding. I didn't actually know what to expect, but when I stepped on board I found a truly nice cabin. When I think of a Cessna 208, I think of a rusty safari flight cabin in Africa. But these comfortable leather seats had me surprised very positively. They had free seating, so I obviously chose a seat in the front row. The legroom and space up here were absolutely fantastic. By the way, Mönchengladbach Airport also has an old U-52 standing around which you can visit. There was a safety briefing and a couple of minutes later we started taxiing. airborne out of Mönchengladbach runway 13. We just reached 5,000 feet. I think we're going to go higher, maybe up to like 9,000. We just passed the city of Düsseldorf and now heading southeast, but it's all very smooth and it should take around an hour and a half to reach the airport of Hof. And I really like this aircraft. So this aircraft, Delta Foxtrot Echo India Charlie, is owned and operated by another airline called flYellow. They're based in Wilshofen in Bavaria, and essentially Flybe just chartered that plane from that airline for today, and I think also most of their other flights that are about to come, and I really like it. It's one of the newer generation Cessna 208s. It was built in 2016, so it's just 9 years old. That's really nothing. And the cabin is the most luxurious cabin I've ever seen on any Cessna 208. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, these seats are so comfortable. There are 8 passenger seats, and then like one passenger can also sit on the co-pilot seat, and yeah, they give you a bottle of water, and apparently there are also some other drinks in the compartments up front. We'll check that out in a minute. But the most important thing is they give you headsets. I was wearing that headset during takeoff, and I have to admit, without the headset, it is actually very loud. So if you fly for 1.5 hours without the headset, it's maybe not so good for you, yes. So I would definitely recommend to wear it, or if you have some earplugs, you can also wear them. But this airline, flYellow, is actually also very interesting. What they do is they have partnered with a travel agent to offer like tour packages, mostly to Croatia from Wilshofen. So you can book like a complete package for a week, including the flight, the hotel from Wilshofen down to Croatia. And in fact, this aircraft was in Croatia just yesterday, twice actually. So they went to Croatia twice yesterday, and then they flew back to Wilshofen and then to Friedrichshafen in the evening. And today they're flying around Germany for Flyvbird. And given the comfortable seats as well as the seamless ground experience, like you can show up, I don't know, 10 minutes before your flight, I can definitely see these flights between Wilshofen and Croatia working for flYellow and that travel agent. And I hope their cooperation with Flyvbird will also work out well. For the longest time, Flybe actually advertised flights with a Tecnam 2012 Traveler. They have changed that approach for this year a little bit, and they announced a partnership with flYellow for this year using the Cessna 208. But for spring next year, they aim to have their own Tecnam 2012s. They don't aim to have an AOC, at least yet. The aircraft are simply going to be operated by like other airlines with an AOC, but the aircraft are going to be owned by Flybe. That's how I understood it. And we've just reached what seems to be our cruising altitude for today, 10,000 feet over flight level 100. And unfortunately, it's all cloudy here, nothing to see. But yeah, it's not a sightseeing flight, it's a regular flight. So yeah, nothing really to do. I'm going to check out what drinks they have, and then I'll get back to you on the approach to Hof.
About half an hour after takeoff, the weather cleared up a bit, allowing for some ground views. But at the same time, we were apparently flying through a bit of rain.
We've just started our descent into Hof. It was an uneventful flight, very calm, not so turbulent. Weather is cleared up by now, and we have beautiful views of northern Bavaria, where some people get annoyed when you say it's Bavaria. They prefer Franken. Beautiful hilly area, lots of forests around, and yeah, hopefully it should be a very nice landing into Hof. Hof Airport last had scheduled flights until 2013. And they actually had a flight, or like several flights per day from Frankfurt, but due to economic reasons like low demand, that route was cancelled. Like it was operated by various airlines over the years, but then it was cancelled. So since 2013 there has not been any scheduled service to Hof until today, although it remains to be seen how often Flybe will actually serve Hof. They will have flights to Berlin from Hof in November, but I think that's it. Like there's no other land service to Hof. But anyway, we're turning for the approach now, and I'll get back to you once we're on the ground.
The clouds had completely disappeared by now, offering spectacular views of the landscape. While we're on approach, maybe a word about their concept. Flybe does not aim to be a regular scheduled airline. They are rather looking towards offering ad hoc flights based on varying demand. These flights may be set up a couple of weeks in advance, and they try to combine demands to create individual flight schedules. For example, you may not get a direct flight, but your flight may have a stop in between to cover additional demand. Potentially, they also want to make use of eVTOL aircraft to offer more sustainable flights. It is definitely a very unique concept, and we will see how it will work out. But for now, let's enjoy the approach into Hof. And welcome to the airport of Hof. I had heard there would be a welcome event, and I was not disappointed. About 30 people were already waiting to see the arrival of this flight. There were people from the airport and the media, as well as some others. The interest in the aircraft astonished me a little bit, since this aircraft is not even owned by Flyvbird. But I could definitely feel the excitement around the apron. By the side of the terminal there was a food and drink buffet. They even offered self-mixed teas, which I liked a lot. I had a quick bite to eat before I left the airport and headed towards town. Today's flight cost me €109. Such a price is obviously offered just for the beginning and probably not sustainable in the long term. For the flights between Hof and Hamburg, for instance, one-way prices range between €249 and €449.
And welcome to Hof, the airport anyway. The town is like an hour away. I'm walking there now. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. In the background here we have the airport with the runway. It's 1,480 meters long. That's definitely more than enough for any turboprop aircraft. And the people from the airport here and like local businesses are very excited to have this flight today, because when they lost the flights to Frankfurt from here, it was really like a hard hit for them. The next bigger airport would be Nuremberg or even Munich, but to get there you have to be on trains for like 3 hours or so. So yeah, there's definitely some demand for flights going in and out of here. Maybe not enough demand to fill like the bigger turboprop aircraft that were used on the Frankfurt route, but maybe a small Cessna 208 could be a very good fit. So yeah, let's see what Flyvbird will come up with for this airport. I really like the concept. I like the idea to connect places where if you want to take a train or like a car, it would take ages to get between those places. Like to get from Mönchengladbach to Hof on trains, it would take like 8 hours, I think, and we just spend 1.5 hours flying. Of course, it depends on whether there are people who want to fly between Mönchengladbach and Hof, or maybe they can also catch people from the Düsseldorf area wanting to fly to Hof, because that's like very close. And the same for other routes too. They have to check a little bit, are there enough people wanting to travel between two places? And then if they see enough demand, they may take up a route. They brand themselves as the Uber of the sky sometimes. It's not entirely correct, because how it's going to work is they're going to check demand, and then depending on the demand, they will open up routes or not. But I would really like to see them succeed. It's a good concept, and if they had a flight to Frankfurt today, that would be very nice actually, because I'm on my way to the train station and I have to go back to Frankfurt using various trains, and it will take me like 6 hours to get there with like 3 or 4 transfers in between. So yeah, having a, I don't know, 1 hour flight, maybe 45 minutes to Frankfurt would definitely be preferable to 6 hours on different sorts of trains. And given the state of the train system in Germany, they will all be delayed. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think about the concept of the airline in the comments, and post your favorite route they should launch. I'm gonna continue to the station now, which is still like 45 minutes away, and I'm gonna say goodbye to you here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Until then, enjoy your travels.